Hello everybody, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday. What day am I going to put this up? Welcome to the Drug Dinner Show. I am your host, Sophia. I feel so empty. I don't have a drink on me. I just literally finished lunch and I just started filming, so I actually don't have a drink on me. Oh my gosh, I had the best lunch, or like I had like half my lunch. I'm going to film, edit, and then eat the other half. It's kind of like motivation. I work and then I get to eat. And you know what I had? I'm like, so what? I had like an egg salad sandwich, but like I made it like Southern style, like salads. Like, you know how like, I feel like Northerners, like y'all make your like potato salad, egg salad, chicken salads a certain way. Like y'all be putting like, I don't know, like random stuff in it, or not, like celery and like carrots. And like down south, at least where my mom's side's from, they put like pickle relish and mustard and a globs of mayo and like some paprika and something spicy, and it's so good. So I made that, but with egg salad, just for the protein, because I'm a vegetarian. Do y'all know that I'm a vegetarian? I like barely talk about it. I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for a very long time. It's been like, it's over 10 years. That's all I know. So but I'm a lacto-ovo vegetarian. So I eat eggs and I eat milk, and but I don't eat meat or fish. And I chose to be lacto-ovo because I do have like some like dietary things going on. I'm gluten intolerant. So like the things that I can eat is like, I can't eat a lot of stuff. I can eat a little bit of stuff. So sometimes I'll flip-flop and go vegan here and there if I need more energy or something, but just because of my dietary restrictions and where I live, lacto-ovo works for my lifestyle. What am I talking about? So I made an egg salad sandwich, and it was the bomb. It's so good. It, like, relish makes it. I get so salty when like someone serves me like, I don't know, like egg salad or like deviled eggs, and there's no pickle relish in it. And I know that's like, I feel like that's like a Southern thing, like white or black. Like that's like a Southern thing. Like I know, Trish, what's her name? Trisha Yearwood or whatever. She puts pickle relish in hers. Like, it's like a Southern thing. So if I see salad and there's no pickles in it, I don't want it. I don't want it. So anyway, is anyone else like that with their food? Like, it could be the same food, but it's missing one like minor ingredient. And you're like, I think I'll pass. That's just some first world problems right there. So anyway, today we're going to talk about designing my dippers cowlette. This is fresh off the press. And I just smacked it. I got it straight from the Netherlands, from Steve and Penelope. They asked for this sample along with a few others. I gave it to them, and it's been missing for a month, and I've missed it. And I flipping love my dippers cowlette. And this thing was such a pain in the butt to design, and let's talk about that process. So I was given a hank of yarn from this company, and I'm gonna put their name up here because I'm drawing a blank. I'm so sorry. I love y'all, but I'm drawing a blank. Okay, I'm human. And they gave me this hank of yarn. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I like to design stuff, so I'm just going to design. They didn't ask for a design, but I just decided to, just because I wanted to. You know, you give me yarn, and if that yarn inspires me, I'm going to design with it, whether or not, like, it's an independent design or what. So, this yarn it's like a hemp wool silk mixture, and it has so much drape. Look at that drape. It's like butterfly wings. Look at that. And so I'm like, I have to make a shawl with this, but only having one skein. And I don't like mini shawls. I don't know if I got one on me. Every time I talk about mini shawls, y'all think it's funny, but it's true. Like mini shawls and broad shoulders, like they just don't work with me. I feel like they're just constantly falling off unless I have a shawl pin. So that's why if I have limited yarn, I tend to always go with a cowlette because it just hangs. Now, the issue with cowlettes I found is that if you wear them out like this, it could look like baby bib status. So, I mean, some people like that. For me, I just think of like putting a bib on a toddler. So I like to wear mine like this, like kind of organic, and let it flow. I think that looks really cute. And let's talk about why this thing was a pain in the butt to design, because I didn't know what I wanted. I knew I wanted a shawl. I knew I wanted to be like half pie shawl shaping. At the time, I wasn't really that familiar with pie shaping. I've only done it once, and it was like forever ago. Like, it was like one of my first like knitted lacy things was a half pie shawl. And so it was so long since I'd done a pie shawl. I had to look it up and figure out what was the equations for doing it. And so once I figured out how to do a pie shawl, I was like, okay, now I got to make it in the round. So what I do with a cowlette, the way this works is that I started off flat. So it's pretty much flat until it's able to comfortably go around your neck. So for me, that's usually like 20 inches or so. That's usually when I decide to, after I knit it flat, I add a few stitches in the back. You can kind of see it. You see that little space right there? I cast on a few stitches in the back, and then I just join in the round, and then bada boom, bada bang, you got a beautiful shawl in the round. And the beauty of that is that unlike what regular shawlettes, this just hangs and it just stays in place, and it always looks cute. You don't have to shawl pin it, you don't have to tie it, you have to do nothing. It's like a cow. It's like the beautiful marriage between a cow and a shawlette. And so I was designing this, and I'm knitting, and I'm like, okay, I know I want the base to just be stockinette with some open increases. I got that. But then it's like, I want something kind of cool at the bottom. And the reason why I didn't want any design on top is because this is designed to be like kind of hang. So any design I do, like, it has to be like pretty textured or pretty lacy. And it has to be kind of abstract, or else you're not going to be able to see what's going on, and it might muddy up the design a little bit. So I went just with flat stockinette, which I like. And then when I got to the end, I'm like, well, I got me some beads that match this, and this reminds me of the sky. It reminds me of the Indiana sky that's really clear out here, especially if you're like me and you don't live in the city. It's gorgeously clear skies out here. So I'm like, you know what? This reminds me of the sky. And it's like, what's one thing that I always look for in the sky? It's the Dipper constellations. It's like the first thing we learn as kids. I mean, I was a preschool teacher. I taught my kids in my classes to look for the dippers and how to look for them and how to map them out. So I'm like, you know, that's the one thing I feel like that connects all of us, is like these constellations, specifically ones that you can spot as children, that you don't need any like expensive equipment to spot. So that's why if you look closely, okay, there is the Big and Little Dipper constellations on here in a repeat. And it's a very organic repeat. It's like, see here and here. You see that? Gotta move it closer. It's a very organic repeat where it's like, it's not like every 3 inches, every 3 stitches you do a yarn over or what have you. It's very like, you kind of have to pay attention a little bit. But I think it's like a 20 stitch repeat. So every 20 stitches you start a new constellation or something like that. So like, it's not like something you can remember. So this is the one part. It's easy, but no, I'm trying to say it's an easy lacy motif, but it's not quite like repeating as often as most lace motif. It repeats every 20 stitches. So it might take you a minute to get in the rhythm of doing it. And if you decide to do beads like I did, it's going to be a little slower, but because it's all stockinette, and it's fairly simple, it still goes by quite fast. And then once that was done, I still had yarn left over. I decided to do a really simple sideways garter eyelet ending. So it's a sideways trim. So this is knitted on the sideways. There's no seaming, nothing. You just knit straight from the live stitches. And what I like about that is that it just adds texture without taking too much away from the motif. And so that's pretty much what went into it. And I tried this border out like 20 times. I kid you not, 20 times. Because it's like, I'll make a border that's great, you know, but then it takes away from the very simple constellation motif. Or I'll try a border, takes up too much yarn. You know, I try a border, there's too much yarn left over. I try a border. It's like, oh my gosh, I just keep trying different borders. And like, finally this one took because it's really simple. I was like, is this too simple? But I do like it. It does what it's set out to do. It's garter stitch, so it makes everything lay really flat. And also what I like about it is that it's very delicate with the eyelets. And it looks very neat. So yeah. And that was the whole process of designing this. Oh, and then I also got this tech edited and tested in secret. And then I released it to the Netherlands. So after that, I sent it over to them. And I kind of didn't publicize this one too much. Kind of my fault. I kind of like, because it just, when it came out around the same time as my cardigan came out, and I kind of outshined it because it's a sweater. And then also with the Netherlands, and then with the Game of Thrones Mystery Knit Along, everything just exploded at once. And that's why I've been kind of quiet, because I've just been trying to get this mystery knit along like perfect. So that's why I'm trying to do this highlight right now so you can really see it. I really love this. This is one of my favorite things that I've designed. One of them. I mean, I think I'd say that about everything because I wouldn't design it if I really didn't like it. But yes, I really love it. And it's so easy to wear. And what I like is that the beads add like nice weight to it. So it just makes it hang really nice. Yeah, also quick updates with the Mystery Knit Along. You still have time to join. If you do order yarn, you might get a late start, but that's okay. Feel free to use stash yarn. The knit along is being held on Ravelry. All the information, I'm going to put the link to my Mystery Knit Along tab on my website. We can get all the information, pattern. You can get the calendar, everything, okay? It'll be perfect, and that calendar will update weekly and provide links. So if you're struggling with finding the Ravelry page or what have you, or finding like corresponding like message boards, because every single clue is going to have a corresponding like board on Ravelry, so that way we could keep the spoilers here and the non-spoilers here. You know what I'm saying? And so it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of y'all joined. I'm really happy to see that. And it's going to be great. I'm a little bit scared just because it's my first event, like big event like this. And second, I'm a little bit scared because it's like, what if no one likes it? But I really like it. Neighborhood Fiber Company really loves the pattern. Yeah, she saw it. She saw it before everything else. So everyone that has able to seen it loves it. So I hope y'all love it too. You know what I mean? Like when you design something you put out into the world, there's always this fear of like, maybe what if they don't like it because it's a mystery, or what if it's like too hard, or what if it's too easy. Oh, another note. When I designed this mystery knit along, I made sure, like, do I have the amount of, let me see how much yarn is in the skeins. So yeah, I still do this. Remember I told y'all that I do this. I still do this. So there's quite a bit of yarn in each of the skeins, and so I had a little bit left over, or like quite a bit left over. Not enough, like it wasn't like half or anything like that, but I did have some yarn left over. So the reason why I did that, so in case you're at the end, you're like, oh my gosh, I got yarn left over, what did I do wrong? The reason why I did that was because A, just in case you decide to do mods, because the pattern is, once you get the pattern and you start working it, it's fairly straightforward. And I did that so that way, A, it's beginner friendly, and B, if you want, you can make mods, because I find that when I knit, I like to make modifications. And so there is enough yarn for you to do mods. You can't go, of course, crazy town and make it like ginormous, but you can add inches here and take inches away there. You can totally do it. And it'll be really easy, I'm telling you. And then B, I did that because just in case your gauge is off, I find that with knitting brioche, your gauge can be quite off. Like if you're not used to measuring gauge and brioche, you can like kind of mess it up a little bit, but that's okay as long as you like your fabric, it's fine. But then you have to go into, okay, if my gauge is huge, you know, will I have enough yarn left over? Or if I can't get gauge, or if I just globbed up the gauge and I'm halfway through, you know, like, you should be fine. That being said, there isn't a ton of yarn left over. Like, I don't want you to think you're going to use like a little bit. It's quite a big, thingy that we're making, okay? It's quite big. So, but I just want to say there is some yarn left over, and don't worry, it's there as like your safety net because it is a MKAL. I've been a part of MKALs where people ran out of yarn, and it's devastating, like, because, like, you work so hard to stay on time. At least I do. You don't have to. But, you know, I like my deadlines. So I work so hard to stay on time, like knitting, knitting, knitting. And then I just run out of yarn, and then it's all for naught. You know what I mean? So that's why there's some yarn left over. I just want to let you know that, because that's the one thing I forgot to say. And it's been, like, bugging me. Like, I try to let y'all know everything that you can. So I'm going to update my website and let y'all know. It's already in the pattern, I think. But because there's so much text in the pattern, I feel like it's easy to mix. And then also, lastly, another update with the mystery knit along. So if you've already bought the pattern in Ravelry, in your Ravelry downloads, okay, I listed it as Clue 1. But when Clue 1 comes out, that's the real Clue 1. I don't know why I listed it as Clue 1. That's lame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that as like the MKAL info sheet around the same time when I update the pattern to include Clue 1. And then I'm going to include Clue 1, okay? So if you see that, Clue 1 is the actual clue, and the info sheet is a thing you've already downloaded. And with every clue that you download, the previous clues will be above it too, okay? So when you download Clue 1, it's going to have the information sheet, like your gauge and the yardage that you use, and the health information already on there. Just to see, I just want to see how that goes. I think that's a little bit more efficient. When I do MKALs, I keep them on my tablet, just because I find that's easier on you know, the carbon footprint. But I know a lot of y'all carbon footprint on paper usage, but I know a lot of y'all like to print it out. So just keep that in mind when you print it out. Maybe start from a certain page, so that way you don't get all of the like last week's information on there. I just do that because there are some parts of the pattern where I say refer to clue so-and-so. And then it'll be so lame if you have to like open a new document on your computer and like paste it together. Ain't no one got time for that, okay? We're too busy watching Game of Thrones to do that. I'm getting like really excited. So anyway, I'm gonna stop now before I blab so much about the mystery knit along. This Friday, I'm gonna have a whole like mystery knit along like hype video, so check that out. It's gonna be the Friday that I'm gonna upload everything to Ravelry. Wait, no, not Friday, it's the day before I upload everything to Ravelry, so keep that posted, and I'll see y'all on Friday. Bye.